the story I tell most often is about the human cannonball, who was a real.
Do tell me the story.
I'll tell you
please.
the story. It's a fantastic story. So the human cannonball, and the story, the way that I tell it, right? It's a story about assumptions, and the fact that if we don't consistently and constantly test our assumptions, things could end up disastrous. So the short of it is this: the human cannonball in the circus, he worked 2 minutes every show, and we had 2 shows every day, so we worked 4 minutes a day. And the way that the act worked was there was a truck. The cannon was mounted on a big red truck, and it wasn't an actual. It looked like a cannon, but it was spring loaded, had a little smoke pack in it, whatever, right? And he would load in the top, and he'd wave goodbye to the 4,000 children that the circus tent held every day, twice a day. And they kind of cock the spring, and the ringmaster would say some funny things, and then hit it, and the flash thing would go off, the smoke thing would go off, and the spring would release, and it would launch him out, and he would land on the other side of the big top, the tent, in a net. Okay, that's the act, and
yeah,
it's pretty remarkable. If you've never seen it before, I saw it 400 times in a row. It lost its luster, but. That's how it was every night. And the way that they knew where to put the net, right, to catch the human cannonball every night was they had a dummy, a mannequin, a human-sized doll that weighed as much as the human cannonball. And every 2 days we were in a new place, right? So we do kind of be in a town for 2 days, pack it all up, drive overnight, set it all up again for 2 more days, and then kind of every 2 days, a new place, right? So we get to a new place, they set up the tent, they drive the red truck in, they park it in the same spot every time, they aim the cannon, they put the mannequin in the cannon, they fire it, and then wherever it lands, that's where they put the net, right? And that's how it worked every day for years. And they never really tested those assumptions beyond like wherever the mannequin lands, that's where we put the net. Well, one night, the red truck got delayed in traffic getting to the next place, location. And they didn't have time to test the mannequin that evening. So they left it outside overnight. They were going to test in the morning. It rained overnight, and it soaked the dummy. It soaked the mannequin. Next morning, they did exactly the same thing that they've done every single day for years. They put the mannequin in the cannon, they fired it, put the net up where the mannequin landed. And that afternoon, tragically, in front of 4,000 children, which is horrible to even say, right? The human cannonball, like he always did, waved goodbye to these 4,000 kids. Ringmaster fired the cannon, and he sailed way past the net. He was, 20, 30 pounds lighter than the waterlogged dummy. And look, the bad news, of course, is that he was severely injured.
Okay, he's alive though.
He did not die in front of these kids. Thank God. He didn't die in front of these kids. But he was severely injured, and he went back to Florida to recuperate. And then he saw his pool boy, the guy who cleans his pool, who was like an all-American, blonde hair, blue-eyed, muscly kind of guy. Yeah. Like, hey, you want a promotion? Basically. And that's how this guy became the new human cannonball.
No way.
Yeah. But that's the story, right? And the story is like, basically, we make these assumptions about how our business or our world or our anything works, and we rarely test them. And if we don't continuously test our assumptions, things change around us, and it can end up with tragic consequences.